I can't remember the last time my house was this dirty, and we just cannot live like this. Today, I'm bringing you some very raw and real cleaning motivation while we pick up this mess and get things back in order. And before you judge me for this, just know I'm already judging myself. We have been insanely busy, and cleaning really had to take a back seat for the last week or so, but we're getting it all done today, cleaning up all the mess, and hopefully this motivates and inspires you to get some things done around your home today too. If you're new here, I'm a mom of two little boys. My oldest is 6.5 and my youngest just turned 2. We actually finally celebrated his birthday this past weekend with family, which is why my house was extra messy. But what's funny is we didn't even have the party at our house. We had it at a local farm. They rent heated greenhouses. They're beautifully decorated. They have animals and games for the kids and fire pits for s'mores. It was such a great day. I was so excited to not host at my own house so that it wouldn't get messy, but somehow here we are and the house got messy anyway. I usually like to start in my kitchen when I'm cleaning because I find once this space is cleaned, it really gets the ball rolling for me and inspires me to keep going. Plus, the kitchen is the highest traffic area in our house, and when it's not clean, I feel like it doesn't function, and so neither do we, if that makes sense. So we're starting here and we're just jumping right in. My sink was absolutely overflowing with dirty dishes, so naturally my dishwasher was stuffed full of clean ones, so I had to empty that before I could load it back up with dirty ones. I have been doing a much better job of staying on top of emptying my dishwasher and running it more frequently so the loads are smaller and it's less of a daunting task, and it's just easier for me to quickly get it done. But like I said, we've been so busy, so this has just really fallen behind and did not take priority over all the other things that we've had going on in our lives. We have had some extreme cold weather here in Massachusetts, and it's been a snowier season than the past few winters have been. I'm just itching for summer. Summer here in Mass is typically really beautiful. We do get some pretty bad humidity, but I will definitely take that over the cold any day. Plus, with small kids, outside time is so important, and we just don't get nearly enough of that. My husband's not a cold weather guy either, so neither of us really want to stand outside and freeze in our 27 layers while the kids play. I can't wait until we can all just walk out the door in shorts and a t-shirt and not need to bundle up. I would love to hear what the weather is like where you're at, and if you're a summer lover like myself or if you prefer the cold. Dishes are one of those tasks that I feel like I really overcomplicate by letting get backed up like this. I feel like it would be so much easier if I just rinsed the plate or rinsed the bowl as soon as I was done using it or the kids were done using it and stuck it right into the dishwasher instead of throwing them into the sink. But sometimes we find ourselves letting them get piled up, and I'm not proud of it, and it definitely makes the job a lot more difficult than it has to be. But that's just life sometimes, and none of us are perfect over here, and definitely not claiming to be either. This, however, is pretty gross, and I'm definitely not proud of this. That's just a bunch of curdled milk inside of a sippy cup. So disgusting. While I'm still over here working on these dishes, I figured I would ask you guys for your opinions on the music in my videos. I've asked this a bunch of times, but I feel like I always get so many different answers, and I'm just curious if things have changed in the last little bit, so I'm asking again. So sometimes I use like more pop music that is a little bit more upbeat because I find that if I'm trying to be motivated, sometimes I do like a catchy pop song in the background that, like, I don't know, kind of makes me want to get moving. Sometimes I use acoustic music in my videos. Sometimes I use just instrumental. I try to do a good mix because one thing I've learned from being on YouTube for the last few years is that I just cannot please everybody. So you may like the music one week and then you may hate it the next because I'm always switching it up. But again, I'm just curious what you guys prefer, so if you could leave me a comment down below letting me know, that would be very helpful. I typically film my videos when I'm alone, but my house was just so bad and I had no choice but to get this all done on a Sunday. I simply could not wait another day for my oldest to be in school and my husband to be at work. I tend to get a lot of comments about how my husband and kids should be helping more, but keep in mind this is my job here on YouTube, and while I'm not hiding my kids' faces on social media, I do prefer to keep the focus mostly on myself, and I never claimed to be a family channel or a mommy vlogger. So you'll see me get a little bit of help from my husband in the video, but if it looks like I'm doing everything myself, that's because this is my channel and my video, and I would prefer to be the focus on camera. But just know when you're watching my videos, my family does help on a normal basis, just not so much when I'm filming. It's crazy how much of a difference it makes to just get the dishes out of the sink and get them dried and put away. It was still a mess in here, but I was definitely starting to see the difference, and that always motivates me to keep going and keep cleaning because I just love a satisfying before and after. I would love to know if you're like me and you would prefer to risk your life climbing and scaling your cabinets as opposed to just grabbing a chair to climb onto when you're trying to put something away. Look at how absolutely disgusting my kitchen sink was after I got all the dishes out of there. I really needed to scrub this out, and I just felt like I needed to show you guys this close up. You can obviously see it from far away, but in some videos on camera, you can't really tell how dirty a space is unless I give you guys a close up. So I'm sorry you had to see that, but again, this is just real life. I've been using the same cleaner to clean my sink for multiple years now, but if you didn't know already, which I'm sure a lot of you do, but just in case there's someone who does not, the easiest and cheapest way to clean your sink using things you probably already have at home is to just put down some dish soap, sprinkle some baking soda over it, and then just use a brush or a sponge and scrub the sink, and that works really well at cleaning it out. And now finally, I'm working on clearing off my island and all of the clutter that has made its way onto this surface. If you guys have been watching my last few videos, I've been doing a ton of decluttering, and I talked about this I think in my last couple of videos, but ever since I've been doing all that decluttering, we have not had big messes like this, and it's been so nice. It's been way easier to just stay on top of tidying the house. But again, we were super busy and cleaning just took a complete backseat for a couple of days, and a lot of things got left out of place. But it was really easy for me to tidy it all up because everything has a proper home now, and we don't have a ton of excess clutter inside of all of our drawers and cabinets that is preventing me from being able to put things away. We are going to clean the floors later on in the video, but for now I was just sweeping because there were so many crumbs everywhere, but I didn't want to turn on the vacuum because the baby was napping while I was filming, and he does sleep with a sound machine and he sleeps pretty deep, but I still didn't want to take that chance and wake him up because I had so much more cleaning that I needed to get done. This here is a kitchen helper / some people call it a learning tower, and we gave this to Sutton for Christmas, and it has been the best addition to our house. This is like top of the list for me when it comes to toddler must-haves. He loves to stand in his kitchen helper next to me, And before we had this, he just wanted to be held and would just cry at my feet and tried to climb me and was never really content when I was trying to do something that didn't involve holding him. So it has been such a game changer for us. And this was like an Amazon knockoff brand. It was really, really affordable. So I will have that linked in my description box down below if you have a toddler and you're interested in purchasing one. The other thing that he's been loving is our Google Home. I get some questions sometimes when you guys can see it on the screen. It's like the little tablet that's on my counter there. And I really like the Google Home as well. It can play music, it can answer questions, it can set timers, it can tell you the weather, it can do all kinds of things. But he likes to put on like CoComelon videos and stuff and watch those while I'm getting things done in the kitchen. And he's never been a kid that's into screen time. He's never really enjoyed watching TV. So it is a little bit nice that sometimes he will stand there and watch some of the CoComelon videos on YouTube and I don't have to be constantly entertaining him like I was before. But obviously I don't just let him stand there for hours. It's just little spurts here and there and it's really been helpful. Obviously, when I was taking the cake out of this box, I had to steal a couple of bites while I was putting it onto a plate. And if you don't steal a couple of bites of the sweet treats you have laying around in your house when you go to repackage them, then I can't relate to you. You'll notice that my countertops are not perfectly cleared off when I'm all done cleaning in the kitchen, but they look obviously way better than they did before. But I'm kind of at a point in my life where I recognize that my countertops are not going to be perfectly cleared off. We have things that we use on a daily basis all day long that there's no point in me putting away just to then pull them back out in a short little bit later. So yeah, my countertops are rarely clean these days, and as much as I would love for them to be clear, I know someday my kids are going to be grown up and moved out of the house, and it's just going to be me and my husband, and I'm going to be sad that I don't have these little messes around, so I'm perfectly fine with leaving them there and just reminding myself that someday I'm going to miss them. Now we are clearing off the dining room table. There was all kinds of stuff on here that was from the party. So we had some extra seltzer that I needed to put away somewhere. Thankfully, we love seltzer and we'll definitely drink it. So I'm glad that we have leftovers. I had an Amazon package that I needed to open up and get put away and crush that box. I had extra plates and napkins from the party. So I'm just going around and trying to clear all this stuff off and find it homes so that we can make sure we're using it all and none of it is going to waste. While it feels so good to have this table cleared off, there was so much stuff all over the floor as well that I needed to pick up. So we're going to take care of that as well. We had some empty grocery bags. We have my husband's like work bag in the background, pairs of shoes that were thrown around. Also the stroller that's typically in the trunk of my car was in the house because we needed the trunk of my car to transport things to and from the party, so I had to get that outside. We also had a hot and cold bag on the floor that belongs to my sister. She had given Sutton 2 boxes of Starbucks egg bites frozen for his birthday because those are like one of the only things he enjoys eating. So I needed to get that bag out into my car so I could get that back to her. Another hotspot or catch-all for us in our house is this table right when you walk in our front door. We tend to put like keys. My husband also puts his hats and his wallet, and just random stuff ends up over here all the time. And I really want to redecorate it in a way that it's more functional because I feel like we don't have any storage on top of this cabinet here to put some of those items so they're not just loose all the time. We do have a couple little bins, but those don't really work the way that I want them to. So maybe at some point I'll get some new bins for on top of this cabinet here and try to just restyle it in a way that makes it more functional and also just look better. But for right now, it just is what it is. While I had the glass cleaner out, I remembered I wanted to wipe down our sliding door, so I'm doing that as well before we go back into the dining room to finish decluttering that area. On this windowsill here, my son had been putting a lot of his like art projects that he's been working on, and he's got some markers and things there. And the reason why he puts them here is because he doesn't want his little brother to grab any of them, which I totally understand because he's not at an age yet where he understands that he can't color on other people's artwork. So he would just scribble all over Carson's stuff that he's worked really hard on, and I obviously don't want that. That would break his heart. So I do leave some of that over here for him, but I put away what I was able to. This is another reason why I'm not a big fan of winter. Our entryway always looks like a complete disaster because we have so many jackets, so many pairs of shoes. Everybody's always changing their shoes because they're getting wet when you go outside in the snow. You need the winter boots, you need the regular shoes, like sneakers. There's just so many things that we need to have out when it's this time of year. So our entryway was looking incredibly cluttered. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't even open this closet door all the way because we had so many jackets and bags full of snow stuff, and it was just too much. So I'm going through everything and getting everything properly put away instead of hung up on this little hook system we have here, and hopefully it doesn't get quite as bad again anytime soon. I don't need anybody else. Someday I really hope that we have a proper mudroom and we have more storage for all of this stuff, but we've really tried to make the most of the space that we have, and I've done a couple of videos where I organized this space and showed you guys where I got everything. So if you're interested, I'll try to remember to link one of the videos in the cards right here so you can kind of see the process of how we tried to make this space more functional. You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. We are moving on to my bedroom now because I didn't feel like it was worth it to clean the living room just yet. I figured that should just wait for bedtime because, again, I filmed this on a Sunday and everybody was home, so you know that the mess is just going to come back faster than I can even clean it up. So we're going to go ahead and make my bed right now, and then after that we're going to sort through laundry because I had done a really silly thing where I had a load of clean laundry on my bed and I was too lazy to put it away before I went to bed, and I threw it on the floor and it got mixed up with a couple of things that I had already worn. And so yeah, I don't know why I did that to myself. I made my life way more difficult by doing that. So I'm going to take a minute to sit on the floor and try to sort through the laundry and figure out what was clean and what was dirty, and yeah, I won't be making that mistake again. Of who I am when you're far away, and I feel like I'm running in circles around you, and I know I've been acting strange for a while, but I want you close. I try to hang as much of my laundry as possible, but my husband and I have a very, very tiny closet. It's just like your standard size bedroom closet. We don't have a walk-in or anything like that. So most of our clothes is stored in our dressers, and we just simply don't have enough storage. Maybe we have too many clothes. I don't know. Maybe we need to do another declutter of our wardrobes, but it's really hard to not have a proper closet. I'm definitely envious of those of you who have a walk-in space. But I'm trying to put aside anything that I want to hang up, and then anything else that needs to be folded, I'll take care of, and then we'll go ahead and get everything put away. My clothing has definitely accumulated lately, and I've talked about this a couple of times, but my size has really fluctuated a lot in the last couple of years when we've had our second child and then trying to lose the baby weight, and it took a lot longer than I thought it would. So I have just so many different sizes in my wardrobe, and I'm finally at a point where I think I've kind of leveled out and I'm at my proper size that I'd like to stay at. So I really need to do another declutter of my wardrobe. And then my husband, I don't think he has decluttered his clothing as long as we've lived in this house, and he's certainly accumulated quite a bit since then. So I'm really trying to find a time where we can declutter his clothing together because he's got way too much of it, and obviously I will film that if I'm able to. But I think that once we get his wardrobe decluttered and mine decluttered a little bit, then our storage situation in our bedroom will be a lot better. But for now, it's definitely a struggle. This is obviously much later. It was dark outside and it was time to clean up for the night. But first I was popping all of these latex balloons because those are very dangerous for the kids and the animals if they ever got any of it in their mouths. So I wanted to get those out of my house. And now I am picking up the living room for the night, which was a complete disaster. And again, I always get the comments about how my family should be helping more and I should be teaching my kids to pick up after themselves. And I definitely do, but I don't necessarily ask for their help when I'm filming a video. Now, Sutton just turned 2 and he understands the concept of cleaning up and picking up, and he will help me if I ask sometimes. But he is not there yet. He's just simply too little to fully understand the concept. And if you have a 2-year-old and you're thinking I'm crazy because your 2-year-old picks up after themselves, I just want to say that every baby is different and you should never compare yours to somebody else's. And I know him the best and I know he's not fully ready yet. So I think that it's just important that he's watching me pick up, that he understands that we pick up at the end of the day, and when he's ready, he will be able to help me. But unfortunately, Carson was helping me, but you'll see these clips have been kind of choppy. My camera died while I was filming this and I didn't notice, and I missed out on like the whole part where Carson was helping me pick up. So that really stunk because I was excited to have that in the video. But anyway, we are tidying up the best that we can and just kind of closing down the house for the night. It is definitely harder to clean with Sutton around because he will just take things right back out because, again, he does not fully understand yet the concept of putting everything away for the night and not touching it again. But I make a point, again, to clean in front of him so he sees that we do this and he'll get there eventually. And maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I prefer to clean for the night when my kids are still awake, and then once they go to bed, I don't do anything else because that's me time. And I've been with them all day. I need a break. I need some time to just be an adult and lay around and do whatever it is that I want to do, and that does not always include cleaning. So I try to do as much as I can while they're still up right before bedtime, and then after that, I am done for the night. You should see the city lights tonight. I don't think they've ever burned this bright. For the sake of filming this video, I did have to pause and do some of it after Sutton went to bed because he kept running like through the tripod. You'll see the tripod gets really shaky a couple of times. He was taking his Target shopping cart here and pushing it through the tripod, and then he was throwing his stuff everywhere and just getting in the way, honestly. So I decided to wait until after he was asleep to continue filming this, because it was just more trouble than it was worth. But on a typical night, once the kids are in bed, I am not doing anything else. At that point, I am either laying down, watching something on TV, reading a book, hanging out with my husband, taking a shower, just doing whatever it is that I feel like doing. And if there were any messes left behind, they can wait for the morning, and it's all gonna be okay. I have such a love-hate relationship with my Tenco wet dry vacuum. I feel like I use it way more often than anything else because it is so convenient that it washes your floors and vacuums at the same time. But it is not as thorough as just vacuuming my floors and then steam mopping them. When I do that, my floors look spectacular. But when I use the Tenco, they just look okay. So it's definitely nice to have it. It's really convenient, but it's not, again, as thorough as just doing it the old-fashioned way. But sometimes I'm just too tired, and this is the best I can do. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes Sutton stands at his kitchen helper over here and plays with the Google Home, and he spills like milk and snacks and things all down the front of these cabinets. So I wanted to wipe those down because it was really bothering me, and there were a couple of spots on the floor that the Tenco did not get. So I'm just cleaning that up, and then it is time to take out the trash for the night. I definitely don't like to leave the trash full overnight and deal with it in the morning because it just will smell and your house will smell. And then there's just nothing worse than when you're trying to do things in the morning and your trash is full and there's no more space for anything else, and then you got to take it out. You know what I'm saying? In the morning rush, getting ready for school, it's just not fun. So I wanted to get this out of the house and a new trash bag put in there.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking?
Now, just a reminder of where we started and how messy my house was when we got to cleaning, and I'm also going to share the afters. It is not perfect, but it's so much better and it's livable, so that is all that matters. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave me a comment down below, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. It means the world to me when you guys take time out of your day to watch my videos and hang out with me and interact with me. It just absolutely makes my day, and I could never ever tell you guys how thankful I am for that. But that's where we're leaving off on this week's video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another video.
I watch you as you sleep. You don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you? I put your favorite